Before I begin this dramatization of the story, I'd like to tell you that some of you may know this, but there are two stories of Damon and Pythias. One has Damon in the role that we know, and the other has Pythias in the role we know, and the other story has the roles reversed. The story is roughly the same, but the roles of Damon and Pythias are reversed. So, for purposes of familiarity and consistency, I'm going to talk about the ones that we know, the ones that we use in our order here. The legendary tale of Damon and Pythias exemplifies one of the most extraordinary narratives of friendship and trust between two human beings. It is no wonder that this epic drama has endured throughout history. Damon was a senator in ancient Syracuse and a constant thorn in the side of Dionysius, the feared ruler and tyrant. To rid himself of Damon's persistent oppositions and challenges to his decisions, he proclaimed that Damon was treasonous and sentenced him to death. Afraid for their own lives, no one dared stand up for Damon. No one except his true friend, Pythias. Pythias pleaded with the tyrant. "Please," he begged, "grant Damon one last request before he dies. Allow him to return to his home and say goodbye to his wife and family." The tyrant laughed. "Surely you do not think that I will be fool enough to let your friend escape in such a manner? If I release him even for one day, he will surely never return." Pythias, a loyal soldier in Greece's army and the hero of many battles well known to Dionysius, continued to implore the king. "Damon is a man of his word and a true friend, alongside whom I have shared many battles. I trust him to return. And to prove it, you can put me in his cell as hostage. If Damon fails to return to face his execution, you can execute me in his place." The tyrant was indeed astounded at the request made by Pythias. "You are willing to die for your friend, even if he proves to be unfaithful, just to save his own life?" "I have never known Damon to lie or to be unfaithful," Pythias responded. Dionysius laughed again. "If you are foolish enough to risk your own life for this man, then you deserve to die in his stead. I will grant Damon 2 days' respite, that he may bid farewell to his family. But remember, Pythias, I shall be equally satisfied to see your head in the block in place of your friend." As sunrise displaced the darkness the following morning, Damon was released from his cell and Pythias was placed in chains. "Go, Damon," Dionysius smirked. "Go to your family one last time. If you fail to return by this hour 2 days hence, it will not matter to me whether it is Damon or you who will die." Dionysius returned to his throne, amazed at the decision he had made to grant Damon's release. The concept of a devoted friendship was alien to him. Dionysius had never trusted anyone to become close enough to be called a true friend. His own disbelief in the motives of others was essential to his own rise to power. The prison guards taunted Pythias in his cell. "You are a fool. Your friend has deserted you. He will not return and you will die." "You're all wrong," Pythias insisted. "Damon is a true friend and will not forsake me." Upon hearing of Damon's agreement with Pythias, his wife begged him to stay with her. "Please, Damon, my love," she cried, "do not return to Syracuse. You will most certainly be put to death. Remain here, safe with us." "My most precious love," Damon responded, "I must return and face my fate. I cannot allow my dearest and closest friend to die in my place. You must realize that my word and my honor mean more to me than life itself." And with a last loving glance at his family, Damon mounted his steed and headed back to Syracuse to redeem his promise and save his friend. But what Damon had not considered for this final fateful journey was the fierce storm that impeded his return. "I must make it back in time to save Pythias," he thought. as he fought onward, even though the raging winds and rains attempted to hold him back. The morning of the execution arrived, but Damon had not yet returned. Pythias was taken from his prison cell and led to the execution site, amid the jeers of the crowd. "How can this man be so foolish to believe that his friend would return?" they mocked. "If Damon has not returned," Pythias declared, "it was not of his own doing. The gods must have delayed him for their own amusement." "It is not the gods who delay him," Dionysus scoffed. "Your friend is no friend at all." He then addressed the executioner. "You may proceed with the beheading." The crowd cheered loudly as Pythias was led to the chopping block, his hands tied behind him and his head laid in place on the wooden block. "If it be my last breath," he exclaimed, "I shall be happy to die for my friend." "Wait, stop!" someone screamed. The headsman withdrew his axe. The king rose and turned to see what all the commotion was about. "Someone is approaching, riding fast from the east." All eyes turned towards the road. "It is Damon, charging with the speed of the wind. He has been true to his word. He is coming back to sacrifice his life and to save his friend." "I have been delayed by storms, your majesty," Damon proclaimed. "You can release my friend Pythias. I am here for my own execution." The air resounds with the shouts of the people who recognize the value of friendship they have just witnessed. So too does Dionysius marvel at the spectacle. He stands in awe, barely believing that such a friendship could ever exist. Perfect. Little drama. The displeasure he had encountered, his anger for Damon, is quickly vanquished. He suddenly realizes that everything he had sacrificed to attain power was due to his own selfishness. Having been so moved by what he has just observed, he declares, "I would give all my wealth to have one such friend." So taken by what he has just observed, he orders Damon and Pythias to stand in front of him. Placing his hands on both their shoulders, he begins to speak. "What I have witnessed has been beyond my comprehension, but I am wiser and richer for it. I release you both." Once again, the crowd cheers with delight as Damon and Pythias are led away from the execution site. Dionysius returns to his throne in silence, vowing to become a better man and even a better king. Thus the story of Damon and Pythias.